thank you for being here today. We appreciate you spending your time and investing with us and sharing this announcement today. We also want to thank you for all the work that's gone into everything you've done with us to get us to this point. One of the key themes you're going to hear about from us today is the value of partnerships. Successful people have emphasized the need for good partners on big projects, especially during times of change and challenging situations. And I think we can all agree broadband to the rural parts of the state is a challenging situation, right? We look forward to not only working with good partners, but we look forward to being good partners for you, our community leaders. So before we go any further, I would like to acknowledge all of our elected officials, community leaders, business partners, and everybody that's working together to make this happen. We could not do this alone, so thank you for being here today. Just last month, Duck River Electric celebrated our 85th anniversary. That's 85 years of service and history serving the communities that we live in. It's very important to us, but this is not unique just to electric cooperatives. Electric cooperatives were all formed mostly during the 1930s, and we were formed with a special mission to go where investor-owned utilities would not go, where they would not build out. And that's where our heritage really began. So for Duck River, what began as a grassroots effort to bring electric service to rural Middle Tennessee has evolved over time. We now serve 80,000 members across parts or all of 18 counties, using about 6,500 miles of electric line, enough to go from here to Alaska and back. The point is the numbers have changed, but our mission has not. This cooperative model is not unique just to electric utilities. Our friends at United Communications were formed 75 years ago with the mission of bringing technology and communications technology to Middle Tennessee. They were founded on the same vision and the core principles that they operate on today. So while technology has changed over the past 75 years, their mission has not. Over the last 85 years, technology has certainly changed, and it's made us into this digital society which exists today. This digital society, as you know, demands infrastructure to support it. It demands reliable, affordable access to broadband. And we're excited today about one of the steps in that process. So therefore, the reason we're here today, it's a true honor to share with you that Duck River Electric and United Communications have partnered to help bring reliable, high-speed broadband to the rural parts of the Duck River Electric service territory. And we're going to do this, yes. We'll do this through what we call Project Unite. Now with this partnership, we're going to be able to respond to the needs of Duck River Electric in ways that were not previously possible. And the reason is, this project relies on the strengths of both organizations. Webster's defines synergy as the interaction of parts that when combined, they're greater than the sum of the individual components. And to me, that really fits when I think about United Communications and Duck River joining on this partnership. This is bigger and greater than Duck River Electric could accomplish on our own. This is bigger and greater than United Communications could accomplish on their own. And I personally believe it's going to be bigger than what we can do together, because where it's successful, we'll be working with community leaders like you and others and other business partners to make this happen for everybody. I'm also relieved to share with you that United Communications and us, we're the home team. We or they or us, whatever combination of plural pronouns you want to use, that excites me because we're not in this alone. We have partners with expertise that are going to help us go further than we could individually. I'm also relieved to share with you that Project Unite will not result in an increase to electric rates for Duck River Electric. I'm also relieved to share with you that Project Unite will not require Duck River Electric to issue more debt, so we'll have financial flexibility for ongoing electric operations. A financially responsible approach to this is something we've been working on for a long time, and we're so excited to share that with you today. But today's journey really began several years ago. Duck River Electric began constructing what's turned out to be a 386-mile broadband ring around our service territory. And today I'm also honored to have two of my board officers here to share in this moment, Dana Salters and Barry Cooper. Without their support, this could not have even been possible. So I'd like to thank them as well as the support of the entire board. This fiber ring has been a critical step to getting us here today. This infrastructure not only makes us a better, more reliable electric provider, but it's also going to be the backbone that United Communications uses to get to more rural parts of southern Middle Tennessee. As the need for broadband has gone stronger in the communities we serve, so too has our determination to find a way to make this a reality. We are determined to find a way to get to yes. Yes to broadband, and yes to a financially responsible solution to make this work for everybody. The COVID-19 pandemic has only underscored the importance of broadband. We no longer have the luxury of thinking of this as a luxury. It's a must-have. In today's economy, in today's society, if you think about remote workers working safely and productively from home, if you think about online education, if you think about telemedicine and other things like this, society demands access to broadband. And we're excited about this creative way to get it to them. If you talk to realtors and economic developers, they will stress the importance of access to broadband. It's just a must-have in today's economy. And so going forward for growth and to support our communities, we're excited about the possibilities this brings. So for Duck River Electric, what started out as a fiber ring to enhance electric reliability has turned into a project to enhance lives. For too long, rural communities have been left behind in broadband development. So today, it's an honor to share with you that United Communications is the only internet service provider with the same vision, the same core values to go to the rural parts of the Duck River Electric service territory. We're excited about this tremendous step with them, and we're excited to partner with them in this process. So before going any further and introducing the CEO of United Communications, I want to thank the Duck River team, I want to thank the United Communications team, and everybody else that's been involved. A lot of work for a long time has gone into this. A lot of evenings, a lot of weekends. We're finally there. We're to the beginning point, and I could not be more happier for you. Congratulations. It's also my privilege to introduce William Bradford. As William's coming up to share some things with you, I will say it's been a privilege to partner with William and to learn from him as we continue to go down this journey together. Today is the beginning point of a lot of good, positive things that are going to happen. So now it's my privilege to introduce William Bradford, CEO and President of United Communications.
Thank you, Scott. Well, first of all, please eat. I know, it's we like to eat when we get together around here, so don't stop eating because I'm talking. I'm sure you can process what I'm saying and eat. So please enjoy. We're really here to celebrate this momentous moment. But take a second. I want to think about what Scott just said. If you think about it, for a long time, Duck River's Electric's members and Middle Tennesseans have relied on companies headquartered outside of this state to get access to broadband. And now, many of them lack broadband, have been left behind. And so this story, what you just heard from Scott, is two local companies coming together to solve a local problem. And Scott, we're really excited to be a part of that with you and your team. Thank you. 3 years ago, we formed a partnership with Middle Tennessee Electric to bring service to their unserved members. And in just a short amount of time, we've accomplished a heck of a lot together through Project Unite. And I'm very confident that the same thing will be true, Scott, for your members, your communities, as we look to expand broadband throughout this territory. Thank you for your trust in us and our team. I look forward to many years of a successful partnership. Let me tell you just a little bit about Project Unite. You've heard it mentioned a few times, but we formed it intentionally to focus our efforts to bring broadband to the many Middle Tennesseans that lack access to broadband today. And we've accomplished a lot already. In just a couple of years, we've brought service to over 12,000 Tennesseans in Middle Tennessee that formerly lacked access to broadband. 2, we've partnered with Duck River Electric, with Middle Tennessee Electric, with local governments to seek supporting grants for these high-cost areas. We've brought over $15 million of federal and state grants into this area that have supported infrastructure investment and broadband access. And third, the third goal of Project Unite is to provide great customer service. Just giving people connections and bringing grants to our area, while they're important, what people really want here is great local customer service. And so that's why with Project Unite, we've had three goals: to connect, to partner, and to serve. And the story that you just heard from Scott and that we're sharing with you today is really about expanding that to a bigger area of Middle Tennessee that needs it dearly. Now, why are we here? You heard from Scott, the digital divide is real. You all hear it from your constituents, you hear it from your neighbors, you hear it from your employees. Broadband Now says over 1 million Tennesseans still lack access to broadband. Think about that. That would be well over $1 billion investment in the state of Tennessee alone to solve this problem. And that's why we're working together to do that. 2, we all know the pandemic has highlighted the need for high-speed internet. We all need reliable high-speed internet. 4, if you think about it, 4 primary uses, right? Working from home. Pre-pandemic, about 5% of our workforce spent time at home working. We believe now it's up to 60%, according to The Economist, of time spent at home working. That's a significant increase in a short amount of time. 2, learning from home. We're going to hear from our education leaders today. Even though our students are by and large back in school, the whole curriculum's moved online. The way we communicate, the way we organize our agendas and our classwork is all online, and we still have the flexibility to be at home when we need to be. It's really critically important. We can't have equal access to education if we don't have equal access to broadband in our rural communities. Telehealth is really important in our communities. According to the American Hospital Association, telehealth usage has increased by a factor of 38 times since the pandemic began. And that's really an amazing equalizer for our rural residents that don't have access to hospitals as close by as our neighbors that live in big cities. So we're proud of what broadband brings for utilization of telehealth in our communities. And lastly, and maybe most important for many people, is just our ability to engage online, and especially this time of year as we shop online for Christmas, avoid the stores like I do. Number 2, stream and just surf. We take that for granted sometimes, but a lot of our neighbors can't even do those simple things every day, and that's what 100% fiber network does. Only 100% fiber network gives you the upload and download speeds to do those kind of things at home, and that's what we're building in partnership with Middle Tennessee Electric and Duck River. Now, Scott alluded to this, and we think this partnership makes a lot of sense, right? We have common goals. By working together, we can deliver the best experience, the most reliable service, and the lowest cost. That's called being financially responsible. Duck River's already made a really big and important investment in backbone throughout most of the rural parts of their territory. And in fact, we've already started accessing that backbone and bringing services to residents, to their members that haven't had access to broadband right out of the gates. And so we're really excited about the power that partnership brings. 2, Duck River has an impressive network of poles and electric infrastructure, which are critical for a 100% fiber network. Duck River has a great relationship with their members. We're already hearing from them. Even in the 24 hours this announcement's come out, we're hearing from members that are really supportive of this transaction. And 4, most importantly, Duck River is committed to their communities. And that was key to us in having a partnership. Somebody that cared about the communities. Our employees are your members. Your employees are our internet customers. We really are invested in this community, and we're excited to increase that partnership over time. I've enjoyed getting to know Scott. From day one, my conversations with Scott have been, what can Duck River help do to bring broadband to its members that lack access to it? And when you start a conversation from a question of how can you help, it really just lays a great foundation for a good partnership. And it told me from day one, I want to do business with this company. Along with Chris Jones at Middle Tennessee Electric, we're introducing a new model, a bigger partnership to utilize our combined experience, our combined expertise, our significant assets in the region, and our service to the member mentality to solve the digital divide in Middle Tennessee. But we need your help. We plan on doing a lot. Our employees are working hard every day to bring broadband to more members, but we can't do it without government engagement and support. We don't want our local communities to get left behind. We're at the beginning. If you've read any headline the last few months, we're at the beginning of a massive infrastructure investment in broadband in the United States. This network's not going to build itself, and there's no guarantee our region will benefit from this funding. So we, as the leaders of our businesses and our government representatives for this region, need to work together to take a leadership position and have plans to bring this funding to Middle Tennessee. With local government support, we have a higher potential for federal and state funding. We can work together to identify the areas of the greatest need. You guys hear from your constituents every day. Let's work together to get the grant money your communities deserve. Now more than ever, the money is there, and we need to pull together and make it happen for our communities. Now, this effort's just getting started, and we know the lack of broadband is a huge issue in the region, and an issue that will not be solved overnight. That being said, we're excited to announce this cooperative partnership. We got great partners who are really interested in serving the communities. And my team found a quote from Henry Ford that I thought was appropriate. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. And I want you to know we've already started working together. And we're going to have lots of success. I'm very confident. So thank you, Scott. Thank you, Chris, for great partnerships. We know that our partnership with Duck River Electric, Middle Tennessee Electric, and our local governments will be successful in narrowing the digital divide in the communities we serve. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yes, Scott, thank you. We love to hear, you know, it's interesting as we make the rounds and talk to community leaders, every single conversation points back to what are we doing to empower our school children to learn and take advantage of the great access that we have to high quality education. And we thought it would be very appropriate to hear from Scott about, you know, what Maury County schools are doing and how lack of access in the rural portions of the county are really impacting your ability to do what you want to do.
So hello, please, like everyone else, keep eating. I'm Scott Gaines. I'm the Assistant Superintendent, Instruction for Maury County Public Schools, and I'm excited about being here and glad you invited me. We're always ecstatic when someone wants to help us provide equitable access for children and equitable access for education. So when we talk about equitable access for schools, you know, that requires robust and reliable access to technology and connectivity that will help our students be able to connect, that it's reliable, and that they're able to, things that they use at school, they will be able to use those things at home and be able to connect. So we know that access to technology really has nowadays a potential to help students, especially students that are disadvantaged, and has a real potential to help improve and enhance education for all our students. But we can't do that unless we have reliable internet access. As we talked about the pandemic, as we talked about 19, when we closed schools and we began to initially try to work to figure out how we would bring kids back to school or what we would do. Certainly we had to consider those students who are those parents and those children who didn't want to come to school. And you know, when we started school last year in the fall of 19, students had the opportunity to either choose to come remote or they could come to school certain conditions. Well, for those students that chose to go remote, we still had to offer education to them. And as you know, some of the things we experienced, especially in rural areas, was connectivity. To resolve some of that, we tried to look at what other ways we could do that. Well, we purchased MiFis. We went out to churches and we asked them if they had Wi-Fi, could they offer it to our students, and do things like that. So we did everything we could to get students access. Even as you talk about that, when you talk about students being at home, you talk about competition for if you were working with a MiFi or if you had limited internet. Well, if students were trying to work with teachers and they were video chatting or they were in class, that competed with someone working from home. And oftentimes parents couldn't work from home because their kids had to be on, or they had to work together, or maybe they had, maybe it was devices, but a lot of it had to do with the internet access and the having that reliable connectivity. That's really impacted our ability to work with students, especially if they wanted to stay at home. Now, we're back to school. We did lots of things with the, everyone knows about the ESSER funding we were able to receive. We bought lots of devices and those things like that. And it has changed the way we think about education. A lot of things, as you heard earlier, we can offer things online. We can just do things differently than we've ever done before. But even at that requires the students have to have that access 24/7. If we can provide good access at school, we can show them how to use devices appropriately. When they go home and they don't have access, that device is just it's like a textbook or it's a paperweight, really. So having that reliable access is very important to the school system. When we looked at our population, a lot of people that had access only had either cell phones or, and if they did have internet, it was very unstable. So we know that it would be vitally important for our students that live in rural areas, especially those areas as we didn't have PowerPoint. If you look at a Wordle and you look at all these places where we ask parents to put their addresses, I know you can't see this, but most of these addresses are rural areas in our county. In the northern and in each part of the county, there are rural areas. That's where we have unreliable internet, unreliable connectivity. So we're excited about the opportunity to be a part of this, to benefit from reliable internet access. We know that it will enhance our children's lives. It will allow us to be better communicators, not only with our children, but with our parents. It gives us more opportunities to be able to communicate and talk, because now we can communicate with them through the internet rather than having to have them come in. So that makes it more convenient for parents, and it just gives us a great opportunity to enhance the education of our children. So we greatly appreciate the opportunity to benefit from this and look forward to the partnership and working with everyone. Thank you.
Hello. Good to see everybody. So again, I'll say, if being the least important part of the program and not as eloquent as my previous speakers here, if you've had any reservations about making noise and eating, set those aside, eat up, enjoy lunch. Scott, thank you for your comments, and William, thankful to be your partner. Scott, thankful to be your partner. This is a big day. So just look around and kind of take it in, because this is an exciting day. It's a difference-making day, and I'm proud to be part of it. When I say I'm honored to represent Middle Tennessee Electric. I'm Chris Jones. I'm the CEO. With me today from Middle Tennessee Electric are Brad Gibson, my teammate, fellow staff member, and our board member, Mr. Steve Seeger, is here. So honored to have them with us. I don't think I'm missing anyone else from Middle Tennessee. But so happy to be at Duck River Electric. And so there's always been a special connection between Middle Tennessee Electric and Duck River. We share a border. We're to the north and they're to the south. But there's always been this special connection. There's a special connection between electric cooperatives. And before I say anything else, so happy to have from Columbia Power and Water, Scott and Richard here with us today, because we're all working together to make a difference in this broadband space. But again, always been that special connection, and then selfishly, on a personal level, I'm from this area. I'm a Manchester native, and so Southern Middle Tennessee always feels like home to me. So I feel very comfortable being here, a special place. So I want to say that it's an opportunity for us to link arms together here today, and that's what we've done. William mentioned that we're a partner. Middle Tennessee Electric is a partner with United. We have been for several years. I'll touch on that just a moment more. United is our fiber broadband company, and just so proud of the work they have done, and so proud of the partnership we enjoy. So United teammates, so very proud of you and what you have done. And William mentioned it. We need help. We need to be working together. This is all about working together. But I wanted to take pay special attention to saying thank you to the state of Tennessee. And so I'm going to be introducing Taylor Beatty in just a moment. But the work that the state of Tennessee has done to make events like this, to make this opportunity possible, it's just been incredible. And I'm so thankful for it, because it was just 3 or 4 years ago where electric cooperatives weren't allowed to participate in this business space. We had received phone calls from our members for years and saying, can you do something about internet? Can you do something about broadband? And a few years ago, we just, well, no, we can't. So go talk to someone else. We didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. But as the years went on and this situation evolved, so thankful that our state government, and Governor Bill Haslam in particular, took the initiative to say, we think electric cooperatives can make a difference in this business space. They serve the rural areas already. They know what it takes. They have the history of doing it. And we've talked many times about how this, to an extent, is the 1930s, replaying itself from the standpoint of how electric cooperatives came into the rural areas and brought electricity. And the situation is playing itself out again to an extent with regard to broadband service, which has evolved from a luxury to much more of a necessity. And so incredibly thankful that the state government, and of course our legislators had to step up too, but made that move just a few years ago to allow electric cooperatives to step into this business space. And then as we began to evaluate the possibilities we had, we were thankful to have a partner, a potential partner at that time like United, in our backyard to say, let's talk and see what we can do. And our partnership has, and William touched on it, has borne a lot of fruit. And we've got a lot of work left to do. But we are committed to seeing the unserved and underserved in our service territory, and now in Duck River service territory, we are committed to see them served. And that's what we're going to do. And that's why we're here. And it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take being bold. And again, I'm going to turn to the state here to say thank you for opening that door, but thank you also for the way that you are facilitating the grant environment, because, folks, there's never going to be a time like this one again. This is a unique time, and we need to do our utmost to seize and capitalize and be smart, and that's what we're going to do. So working together, we can accomplish a lot. Somebody wise a long time ago said, if you're not so worried about who gets the credit and you work together, it's amazing what you can accomplish. And that's what we need to do. We need to be focused on delivering to those folks who need it so much. And we know where there are, even if the FCC doesn't. And we've got to deliver. We've got to step up and deliver, and that's what we're going to do. So, one thing I wanted to say too, because I mentioned that we're both electric cooperatives, and there is we have 7 principles, and one of those principles that's so important, and I think is ever more important today, is cooperation among cooperatives. And so some may wonder, why is this happening? Why are you doing it this way? And it's real simple. There are many pieces I've touched on already, but fundamentally, it's about the call we have to be who we're supposed to be, to help each other. It's that simple. And this is a way we can do it. And we need to look for more ways we can do it to serve those who are our members as best we can. So, what a privilege it is to be here. And speaking of the state and of Taylor, I'm going to introduce her now, ask her to come on up. Taylor Beatty is the Tennessee ECD Broadband Program Director. And we are so honored to have her today. I just had the opportunity to meet her a few weeks ago. She is moving into this role. She has a passion for what she does, and it's good that she does because we need that. And again, let's make her very welcome, everybody. Taylor Beatty.
Hi, well, good morning, and thank you so much for that kind introduction. I'll be brief in my remarks this morning, but just want to say congratulations on behalf of the state of Tennessee for this historic partnership here between United and Duck River and, of course, Middle Tennessee Electric. I know, not being new to Tennessee or not being new to broadband, but being new to state government and ECD, I know that United's been a longtime partner of ours, so we're really excited to continue that and to see all the great work that you guys continue to do. As I've stepped into this role at the end of September, beginning of October, we were just talking to William about this before we started, that I've tried to get to all the parts of Tennessee that I haven't spent a lot of time. And I was actually out in West Tennessee a few weeks ago and going to an electric co-op. I walked in and they had this huge plaque that said, a quote that said, "Broadband is to rural communities as water or as irrigation is to farming." And that has stuck with me. Of course, this was in a West Tennessee town, a heavily farming community. And as I've had a lot of time on the road traveling in between Nashville traffic and all the things, as you can imagine, that has really stuck with me as a why for why I'm in this this space and why the state cares so much about this. As you know, Governor Billy cares so much about broadband and has said many times that he wants to get every Tennessean connected from every corner of the state, every hill and holler and valley and cove and all the places that we have here across our state. And as a Tennessee girl who did a quick tour in Washington, D.C., I'm so happy to be back home and to have the chance to work on this critical infrastructure issue back in our state. As you are well aware, as I've had the chance to talk to a couple of you guys before we got started, we are embarking on a historic amount of funding here at the state of Tennessee, flowing in from the federal government, but state administered, which is what we like to hear, right? So, yes, I know, we feel the same way. So, it's exciting, but there's a lot of it, so we're in the process of getting all of that set and ready to go. But we're anticipating again a historic amount of funding with our American Rescue Plan funding. We're seeing $500 million for broadband, $400 for infrastructure, and $100 for adoption. And on top of that, we're hoping to see some money from the infrastructure bill coming our way in the next couple of years. So we're excited about so many great opportunities here. And one of the things, as our partners have been talking so far, that I've been reminded of is just how important community collaboration is. As I've had the chance to work on this in different states and on the federal level, what I have seen the most success in communities is when folks all come to the table, when folks all come from different types of technology, different types of providers, the local leaders, the school systems, the anchor institutions, the hospitals, the communities that are saying, we need broadband, and have those conversations about where broadband is and isn't and how we come to the table, think outside the box, and get the job done and connect those Tennesseans. And so I congratulate you for thinking outside the box, because you guys have surely done that. We are so excited at the state to see what you guys come up with and how you're going to work to serve this part of southern Middle Tennessee, an area that really needs broadband. And so we're so excited. If I haven't had the chance to meet you yet, I know I've just been here a short time, please come up and say hi. I would love to put a face with a name and a name with an organization and entity. So please feel free to do that. And if there is anything we can do, Emily and I are both here. I'm throwing her under the bus a little bit too. But Emily and I are both here. If there's anything we can do, any questions we can answer, please come find us. But we're always happy to help any way we can. And we just, again, congratulate you on this historic announcement, historic partnership, and we wish you the absolute best of luck in this endeavor. Thank you. And I think I'm turning it back over to Scott, right?
Obviously, it's a very exciting time, and there's a lot of people appropriately happy about this announcement and happy about the road that we're on. But I would argue nobody is happier than me. So I'm very relieved. I'm also relieved that we can share a solution that is a proven model. We can share a solution that Chris and William have proven works if we all work together. So I'm going to ask Chris and William, if you guys don't mind, come on up. We know everybody here is on a tight schedule, but we want to make ourselves available for any questions that you may have. Just to kind of round out the day. So again, William Bradford, Chris Jones, come on up. So are there any questions that you may have for us, for myself, William, Chris, anything about our partnership, anything that might interest you? All right, so knowing that it is a rainy Friday and we do expect weather, we want to be sensitive to your time and your schedules. But again, on behalf of all of us, I think I say, thank you for your part in this process to this point. Thank you for the investments that you made thus far, and thank you for what you're going to be doing as we work together to try to figure out how to solve some of these digital divides in the near future. Thank you very much. Have a good day.